What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
What's good tonight? Right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink.
Look, a damn mess. Just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is up? It's me, L Teddy 27, and I'm back for another review. This is going to be our review for Put a Ring on It. This is season 1. It is episode 9. It is entitled All or Nothing. So I think we're on the episode right before the season finale. I think next week is the season finale. So a lot of things are coming to a head this week. We're still at the big house with Dr. Nicole. And Dr. Nicole is doing what she does. Tamika and Vince, they still going back and forth. They still arguing. It's just beginning to be too much. Dr. Nicole talks to Vince, and she kind of alludes to Vince in Dr. Nicole's way, not directly, but kind of in a professional counselor, therapist type way. Said, listen, you need to start being honest with Tamika, and maybe that will help the process along. Just come full scale, be honest, be truthful with her about the things that she's been complaining about. Verbalize it, vocalize it, so that you can begin the process of moving on. Now, if at that point she can't move on, then the problem is her, not you. This week, the only people who took additional dates were Tamika and Ashley. Ashley's going on her third date with, I'm sorry, Tamika's going on her third date with Devin. Ashley's going on her fourth date with Kwame. And Dr. Nicole said this week they needed to talk to each other about their plan and their vision for the couple for the future. Their plan or their vision for the future individually, as well as collectively as a couple. So we start off with Tamika and Vince at home. They continue to argue. It's getting old now. Now, he says that he has owned up to all of his mistakes that he's made with Tamika. Now, if he did, we ain't seen it. We ain't heard it. He ain't done it on screen. But even if that is the case, with what it sounds like in terms of what Tamika has been telling us, if you do something, own up to it, and then come back and do it again, own up to it, and then come back and do something else again, after a while, that shit gets old. Like, you can't keep doing the same wrong thing and not making it better or not correcting that action. Because after a while, I don't want to hear your, you just can't keep wronging me and then say, well, I apologize, so get over it. No, because you keep doing it. That's what it sounds like to me. And what I feel like is, whereas you kind of want to be like, Tamika, get over it, I kind of understand her, because I would be the same way if I keep trying to get over it, and every time I'm at the point that I'm, okay, let me move forward, you introduce something new or you do the same thing again. I'm not. But at the same point in time, Tamika, you should have got out of Dodge a long time ago. After about that third time, you should have said, you know what, the dick ain't that good. Trust me, it's other good dick out there, Tamika. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. We then see Michael and Shay at home. Shay is pressuring Mike into this engagement, as she's been doing the whole time. Michael says he's not comfortable getting married to her until after his son moves in, and they've had some time to see how this adjustment period works and see how Shay adjusts to a life with Michael's son there. Totally agree. Totally agree. You shouldn't even think about putting a ring on nothing until you fully understand and are fully aware of how she's going to act when that child lives there for some time. I ain't talking about he moving and then and it seemed good for a month and then you get engaged. Do. You get that jump about a good year. I would say give it a good year to see how she, adjusts, see if she can deal with it. And the reason I say a year, because sometimes people change with the seasons. But we'll see. Dr. Nicole then has a private session with Vince first, and alone, and then she has a private session with Tamika alone. And like I said a couple weeks ago, these people need more private sessions with Dr. Nicole than anybody. So we know both of them have things that they need to work out. Vince needs to work on taking ownership of what he's done. I believe if he hasn't already, says he has, but we'll see. And if he has, he needs to work on correcting those actions. Tamika needs to admit that she's holding the relationship hostage. Like she is holding the relationship hostage. And I wrote by not moving past all that's been done and really truly forgiving Vince. Because if you really can't get past it, you really truly can't forgive Vince, you need to let him go. And Vince, if that's the case, if you are at the point where you feel like she can't let it go and your relationship is not growing, then you need to say to her, "Hey, we had a good ride. One of y'all need to get a grip and let this relationship go because y'all playing." We then see Ashley and Hollywood. They're at home. Now, let me admit, y'all, it was hard for me to focus on this scene because listen, own network, Oprah Winfrey Network, own television, whatever y'all want to call it, y'all. So now y'all want us to focus on this argument and fight that Ashley and Hollywood are having. You know what my stinking ass was doing? Like this, glued to the television screen, watching all of the muscles and ripples of muscles all over Hollywood's half naked body. Like I couldn't focus. Like you can't have me trying to focus that Hollywood is on his half naked, flaunting all of his body all over this good television screen. Come on now. Some of us have great, large, huge televisions with great pixelations and stuff like that. Come on now. I couldn't focus. I haphazardly wrote down what they were saying because I was having a whole moment. I was about to break out the whole Albaline jar. If y'all don't know what the Albaline jar is used for, those people who know, they know. So I was about to break out the Albaline jar, honey. Ooh, chat. Anyway, Ashley kept saying something about Hollywood doesn't see a future with them, but I don't agree at all. I think from the beginning, Hollywood has maintained. I'm not really trying to see about having a date with somebody else because I want to be with you. I want to marry you. Yes, I had missteps a few years ago, but I'm beyond that. I'm past that, and I'm ready to get married. That is one thing he's been consistent about this entire time. So for Ashley to say that Hollywood has not expressed seeing a future with them, I can't agree with that. And here's what's happening with Hollywood. Hollywood is hurt. Hollywood feels like, okay, those years ago when he messed up, maybe he wasn't sure. And one thing about a man is sometimes it takes them a long, especially depending on their sign, astrological sign. It takes them sometimes a while to get to the point where they say, okay, yes, I know that this is what I want. And his thing is now that he's gotten there, and he said this on multiple occasions, he's like, okay, why can't Ashley be there with me? Ashley is never going to marry Hollywood at this point. She needs to stop it. At this point, I don't think, even if Hollywood proposed and she said yes, she's never going to be fully happy. And Hollywood, if you can't see that, if I were Hollywood at this point, I wouldn't even try to get engaged to her. She's never going to get past it. Like she said, she never forgave herself for staying with him. And so I feel Hollywood at this point is hurt because he's 100% fully into Ashley. And Ashley around here catching feelings and doing all kinds of stuff with other people. And he's like, now wait a fucking minute. Now I came on this show. Now this is something that I found out in an interview that I saw with Hollywood. Shouts out to Commissioner Reviews. Hollywood stated that when they first signed up to be on the show, they signed up to be on the show with the thought that this would be all about counseling sessions with Dr. Nicole and so forth and so on. It wasn't until after they had, gave the okay to be on the show that they found out that there would be other dates involved. That the spouses, or not spouses, that the other person would be going on dates with other people. Anyway, my point is, you can't listen, Ashley. You can't be out here dating two men at once and expect a man not to get mad, not to get frustrated. I don't care what process this is. A man is not going to sit up here and watch his woman dating another man, telling him all about how she like him and how he make her feel good and give her googly eyes and stuff like that, and not be mad at his feelings. So what Hollywood is doing, he's lashing out. Comment, he gonna say a slick comment back. You trying to be like, well, why you gotta be all serious? And I'll be like, well, why you gotta be out here on dates with other men? We need to be working on us. We don't need to be introducing new problems into the relationship that we already have, because introducing a whole other person is introducing a new problem. Anyway, moving on. Tamika goes on a date with Devin. Basically, she tells Devin, listen, it's been cool, it's been real. Chucking up the deuces, you and your, hair, whatever you got going on with your hair. I'm staying with Vince. He has better hair. She can say that. But she told him basically, I'm gonna, take my chances and stay with Vince. It's been real. Peace out. Ashley goes on her date with Kwame, and I sat there the whole time saying, Ashley, you playing, because there is not a man in America, not Hollywood, not Kwame, not me, not no other man that would sit there and watch the person that they're with on a date with someone else while they're still in a relationship with you and be okay. Your antics, Ashley, with Kwame is way out of line, way over the top. And nobody, no man is going to sit there and be okay with what we're witnessing on screen. You out of order. Ashley, you are way out of order. Way out of order. And then you over here get mad with Hollywood. Hollywood has every right to be upset. Every right to be upset. I don't blame him. I do not blame him. You are out of order. Out of order. Back at the big house with Dr. Nicole, Tamika admits, Tamika says that she needed closure with Devin and she appreciates Vince more and they're working on each other. Every time they come in here talking about, oh, we're getting better, we're working on each other, everything's hunky-dory, everything's getting so much better, and then y'all, having knockdown, drag-out fights and arguments. Child, I don't understand those two. Let it go. Ashley, and Hollywood starts talking, and Ashley basically says, listen, love is not enough. And I felt like when Ashley said that, that was her way of saying to Hollywood, this ain't going nowhere. Let it go. And if Hollywood didn't hear it, shame on him. But that was her way of saying, when she said love is not enough, that was her way of saying, it's over. That's a mess. Shay and Michael, Michael admitted, I found it interesting that he has a negative view of marriage. And I don't know, we haven't really gone into detail about why or how or the history behind that, but he did talk about it, and I found that very interesting. And that should have sent off red flags for Shay, if you that, hell-bent on marriage. And then Ashley then said that she had this image of her getting married, but it wasn't clear who she was getting married to. Meaning, it definitely wasn't Hollywood. And I was, and it kind of went off from there. Hollywood, it's over. Let it go, dog. Dog, it's over. It ain't even worth it. Don't even try. It's over, Hollywood. Let it go. Throw her to the side. Trust me. You can, like you said, you ain't trying to get in a relationship real fast after 9 years and out. Then go and bust the women down across the fruited plains, okay? Go ahead, Hollywood. You're an attractive young man. You're an intelligent young man. You're a smart young man. I mean, even though you have some questionable choicing skills by choosing Omega Psi Phi, dear God help you for choosing Omega Psi Phi. I ain't gonna, fault you too much for that. But other than that, you seem like somebody who could be a great catch for some woman out there. You need to let Ashley go. Let it go. Anyway, that was Put a Ring on the season 1, episode 9. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. We'll be back for the season finale. I think that's next week. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.